Hey, what's going on, everybody? First, I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everybody out there. At the time of this filming, it is the 26th, 3:08 in the morning. So Christmas is over, but I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. So that out the way. By the title of the video, you already know what it is that I'm going over. So in this video today, I'm going over the Grand Power Stribog. This is right here. This is SP9A1. This is the Gen 2 model, and this one in particular has the dual rod system. I'll get into the dual rod, single rod system later on down the road, but I just want to go over this. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. I know I have a tendency to be a little bit long-winded, but I'll do my best in this video. So I purchased this back in late October, mid to late October, and I was away for work, so I couldn't pick it up. It sat on my FFL for almost a month and a half. I ended up picking it up at the beginning of this month, around December 6th, and I ordered a bunch of stuff to make it what I wanted it to be. Now, I purchased this gun because I really liked it. I knew about it for a while last year. They were being imported about a year and a half ago. They were being imported by Eagle Imports, and I never got the opportunity to pick one up. And then Global Ordnance came along, and they started importing them, and I had the opportunity to pick it up, so that's what I did. And I'm kind of glad that I waited, because I wouldn't have liked it with the reciprocating handle because of the way that I hold it. You don't have a whole lot of real estate in the front of the gun. It's only got an 8-inch barrel, and the upper receiver rail, which is all one piece, is much shorter than that. So I think this gun benefits greatly by it being not reciprocating. Had that handle been, over the magazine wall or whatever, it would have been fine. But considering where it's at, I think that it's a must as far as being non-reciprocating. So I purchased this with this being a truck gun / home defense, mainly home defense, and that's what I have it set up for. So I'll go over what I put on this, changes that I've made to the gun, how it's shot, any issues that I may have had with the gun, and my overall thoughts on it. So with that, I'll jump right into it. So starting at the front, if you can see here, that is HB Industries mini comp for 9mm, half by 28 thread, and it works well. It lessens up the recoil a bit, but it doesn't help with muzzle rise. So that's just going to be a training issue for some people. If muzzle rise is a big deal, then you'll have to trade off with a different one that will pretty much be focused on mitigating that muzzle rise, but you're gonna get that recoil. Now it's a 9mm, so recoil isn't a big thing. I just really like the way that this worked, and and the way it looked. So I said, what the hell, and I picked it up. It's cheap. I think it's like $18 or something like that. So moving forward, I don't know if you can see this right here, that little silver ball there. That is your charging block. And this one that's in there is from HB Industries. It's a replacement for the original one that comes with the gun. Now the one that comes with the gun just looks like a elongated C-clip that fits in the channel. There's no detent. It is not reciprocating, but there's no detent. So when you fire the gun, it has a tendency to kind of slap back and forth, which is evidenced by some other videos that have been done by other YouTubers. And I wasn't a big fan of that. It's just a piece of plastic that kind of slapping around can't be good. not only for the charging block handle, but for the charging handle itself, because if that's slapping back and forth, you're going to get increased wear either on the handle where it goes through the block or on the upper receiver in that channel. So I wanted to mitigate that as much as possible, and this was a good pick. Now, when you first get it and you install it, it's going to be a little bit difficult, or not so much difficult, but just a hair more difficult than it would normally be to charge the handle until the spring kind of breaks in for those ball detents. But once that's done, it's very easy. Moving on, I installed a TLR1 weapon sight. This was 300 lumens. I had it laying around. I had it on a pistol, but I took it off because it doesn't really get used a whole lot. I figured it'd get better use on here. Now, it didn't come with the tail cap for the switch, for the tape switch, so I had to order that, which I got off Amazon for like 36 bucks, and then the tape switch, which I got off of Primary Arms for like 20 bucks, and slapped that on, and it works great. You can still use it right here, so you got your monetary, and then you got your light lock, and then you can still do strobe. Now the tape switch is just a pressure. Double tap, you still get that once. It's just a strictly monetary. There's no steady on or off. Moving rearward, I got 2 red dots that I ordered because I wasn't sure which one I wanted on this. Plus, at that time I had plans to pick up the AKV9, which I didn't, but that's coming out later on down the road. And I went with the Primary Arms, and I just prefer it more. I'll touch on that in a later video because I plan to do an individual review on this, the Vortex Crossfire that I have, and then do a comparison video as well as other red dots that I have that I'm going to go over. Moving on down the line, this right here is your bolt catch release lever, and that is a replacement or aftermarket by HB Industries as well. And as you can see, it protrudes outwards a little bit more and rearward, which helps for getting my finger on it, because with the standard one, I can't get my finger on it without breaking my grip, and I don't want to break my grip. So I replaced that. Very easy to replace, and it's worth it. Hopefully, Grand Power goes ahead and they upgrade that in their next iteration, which is the A3, which will be hopefully coming out sometime in 2020, early 2020. So that was the additions that I did to this. Now, I did go over the trigger. When I first got it, I didn't like the trigger at all. I thought it was very stagey, very gritty. I took it apart and I polished everything. I do this with all my pistols. I polished everything just using a mother's metal polishing compound and a Dremel with the felt attachment, and it made a huge difference. So it's empty. I'll drop this. So there's no stage. You just get that little bit, and then it breaks. And it's a very clean break, and actually pretty light break for what it is. Now, when I put this on the trigger scale, it says that it's 6.5 pounds, but it does not feel like 6.5 pounds. It feels a lot lighter. I personally have no reason to change this out. I don't believe anybody really does. If they do, it's going to be either cool factor or personal preference. I think the trigger works just fine. But see, a little bit of take up right there, and then a clean break, and then it's a reset. Boom, done. Now, there's 2 things that I personally don't like. I don't think they're a reason not to purchase the firearm, but for me personally, I don't like them. Now, the first thing is your selector lever. I think it works great. It's positive, except I don't think this is long enough. I feel like I'm constantly having to reach with my thumb to actuate that. I think if it was just a hair longer, it would be fine. I don't think it needs to protrude any further out. I think that lower profile, slimmer profile is fine. It just needs to be extended back here. And if somebody in the aftermarket community can go ahead and tackle that, or if Grand Power goes ahead and they revise that, that would be great. The other thing I don't like is the magazines. Now, there's been issues with the magazines that have been talked about on the Facebook page and I believe in other videos, but there's been supposed issues with the feed lips cracking and the magazine splitting down the spine. I haven't experienced that with any of the mags that I have. I have 6 of them, and I've been running it a lot since I've got this. I've already got over 750 rounds in this, and it's pretty much performed flawlessly aside from 2 ammunition related issues and 2 magazine related issues. Now, magazine related issues had to deal with the follower binding up inside the mag. Now, there is a fix on the Facebook page for the Stribox, and they talk about how if you lubricate the follower and the mag walls, it'll work fine. I personally don't like doing that. I feel like that's just asking for trouble, because now you got dirt and grime that's going to have a place to stick. Aside from that, I went ahead and took the advice of some of the people that had put that on the Facebook page after I had posted about it. And I took a shotgun bore mop, took everything apart, cleaned it, and then went over it with a PB Blaster silicone spray. Not the PB Blaster you used to break loose rust or anything like that. A specific silicone spray, put a very light coat, definitely lubricated the follower, and that made an immediate difference. You could tell as soon as you load the magazine, and I had no more issues as far as binding and causing issues with the rifle. Now, the issues that I was having is the round would pop upward, projectile upward, and then the bolt would slam it in the center of the round and bend around and cause a malfunction, as well as, damaging around. And on last round, the follower wouldn't come up all the way, and it wouldn't cycle that. It wouldn't feed that last round. It would just pass over it and come back. After lubricating the mags, I had no more issues like that whatsoever. Now, the one thing that I did have issues with was with Winchester ammunition, their steel case. Now, I noticed that their steel case ammunition has a rougher texture to it than most steel case does. And I had 2 instances using that ammunition where it bound up in the magazine. I just give it a little tap, it would come up, and it fed fine. That was two instances. Now, I personally don't like running steel case, but I just wanted to test it out. I ran 150 rounds of that steel case, and it fired every one of them, except for the 2 instances where it didn't feed. And I just think that has a lot to do with the texture of that, because I fired some other steel case ammunition that had no issues with it whatsoever. But so that was my issues with the mags. Now, I don't know if there's a way that they can, I don't want to say re-engineer, but if there's a more lubricious polymer that they can use to make these mags from, I think that they'll greatly benefit, as well as doing steel feed lips. I think that should be a change as well. From what I understand, they're working on that over at Grand Power. I haven't been able to verify that is true or not, but from what I understand, that's what's going on. Now, there's some people that are working on aftermarket mags. and we'll see where that goes. If you follow the Facebook page for the Stribog, you'll see that there's plenty of guys out there that are making stuff on CAD programs and trying to get stuff made up on 3D printers, or maybe local machinists and so on and so forth. So we'll see how that turns out. And I think that this platform will greatly benefit from some refinements to the magazines, or maybe aftermarket magazines that may be a little bit better. But I think that this platform, the magazines are the weak link with this one. Other than that, everything works fine. After lubricating it, it works just fine. I have over 750 rounds. It's probably closer to 1,000. I just stopped counting. And with brass case, no problems whatsoever. One thing I do love about this is this flared mag well. This thing makes inserting this mag so easy. I know some other platforms, they don't have that flare, so it's like inserting it into a pistol where you kind of got to be real precise on the way you insert that mag. But with this, quick mag changes are very easy, very smooth. So now I did have an issue with the HB Industries adapter. And the two issues that I had with it. One was the adapter had a little bit of play in it going into the upper receiver, and it was kind of, the oil would come out of it. And the other one was the brace itself had a lot of play, and it developed over 400 rounds. Contacted HB Industries. They said, we had some issues with some of them. We know about it. As soon as we get more the adapters in, we'll send you one out. 3 days later, they emailed me because I posted a video about it on the Facebook page, and I made a fix for it using 1,000th inch stainless steel shim stock, where I made shims for right here, equaling 3,000th of an inch, and then in the center hole of the brace, not the adapter, and I rolled it up to take up that slop in there, inserted it, kind of making a just like a metal insert, and then inserting the bolt, and it took away all of that. They emailed me, said they seen the video, they seen that I was able to shim it and kind of take all that slop up, and it seemed pretty tight, and if I wanted to continue with getting a replacement, I said yes. They immediately sent it out. I got it 3 days later, swapped it out, and it's been fine. I mean, the lockup was way, way better than it originally was. Now, I still went ahead and did one shim at the bottom, one shim at the top, and that roll of shim stock in the center hole of the stock, or the brace, just to avoid any potential wear that can happen. Now, blowbacks tend to have a little bit more recoil than, say, a roller delayed or roller lock. So I want to try to mitigate that as much as possible, and that's the route that I went. Nice firm lockup, and I can still do this. Now I can't just throw it, but I'd rather deal with that and have a tight fit than have it sloppy, and then I can just swing it. It's not a big deal for me. The only time I keep this thing folded is when I throw it in my pack, and it's not a big deal. Now, how has it shot? It's been fine. Like I said, well over 750 rounds. Only malfunctions I had were magazine related, and 2 that were ammo related. I don't know if you can say that's ammo and magazine related. They can share that blame if need be, but it shoots just fine. I love firing this thing. I take it to a range. It's a lot of fun to shoot. It's pretty damn accurate. At 50 yards, I can get a group the size of a 10-shot group about the size of my hand, which is plenty fine for what I need it for, and that's just using regular 115 grit. At 25 yards, they're all touching. So not a big deal. And when I'm at the range, I always get looks. Everybody asks me what it is. They ask if they can shoot it. When they shoot it, they love it. Even when they just handle it, they love it. And then they're immediately shocked by the price. So maybe I've contributed to a few potential future sales, which would be pretty cool because I think that this platform is great, especially for the price. And considering what's out there as far as PCCs, aside from AR9s, there's not a whole lot of them left out there or currently out there. You got your MP5s or the MP5s. You got your AKV9s or the Kalashnikov. USA has one out now, the Vichias, which is their or the original one, so to speak. You have the Scorpion. B&T has a couple with their APC9 and their GMH9. And I think this really rivals all of them, except you get it at a phenomenal price point. I think this one and the AKV9 both do something special with PCCs. They bring a really fun platform at a great price point. And from what I understand, their reliability on both of them has been great. This one, mags have been an issue. The AKV9 had some issues in its infancy, but was immediately remedied by PSA. And from what I understand, there's been no other issues whatsoever with that. But those two, this and the AKV9, they at the price point, I mean, I think they're both great. And even this is still, with the coupon codes, are going to be cheaper than the AKV9. The AKV9 is sitting at $7.99 for its Magpul model. I think they have one that just has regular furniture, which is about $50 less. But you use that coupon code. I know Mr. Guns and Gear has one. Grand Thumb has one. There's a few of them that have coupon codes and you get $50 off. Do Global Ordnance, and this is a phenomenal rifle. It's eaten everything that I've put through it. I've ran strictly 115 grain. I've run Fiocchi's. I run Winchester white box, the Winchester steel case. I ran some other steel case, but I can't remember the brand. I ran, what else? Freedom Munitions, Remans, and new. I ran some Federal and CCI Spear, 115 grain. And I even ran a couple rounds of 147 grain defensive ammo. I think it was critical duty, and it fed it just fine. I had no reason to run any of that type of ammunition through this. I don't make a lot of money, and I'm sure it's not going to spend it plinking at the range with that stuff. Ball ammunition to handle anything that I needed to handle, and that's where I'll leave that. But yeah, everybody seems to love this thing. My wife absolutely loves this gun, so much so that she's probably going to get her own. Every time we're at the range, she gets really excited about this, and then it becomes a competition of who can shoot better than who. I have a lot more experience shooting, but for someone who doesn't shoot a whole lot and now is starting to get into it, she actually is a pretty phenomenal shooter, and sky's the limit for her, and it's actually fun having her share the love that I have for this hobby, and for, all things gun related, and she's coming around to that. So, but overall thoughts, I think this is a great PCC pistol, and I think it'd be perfect to form one it and go ahead and put a stock on it. But yeah, if you're on the fence about it because of some of the issues that may have been reported in the past, don't worry about it. They're on top of it. From what I understand from a letter that was released by Global Ordnance, there was a very, very small percentage of people that had issues with cycling ammo, and that was something that was brought to light by Tim at the Military Arms channel. They ended up finding out that when they switched from the dual rod system, which this is, and I'm not going to pull it apart, there's plenty of videos that show that, but they switched from a dual to a single rod because it's supposed to be a tie-in to their SP9A3, which is roller delayed, and the roller delayed is going to use that recoil system. Now, their springs, I guess, are meant to handle 124 grain NATO spec ammunition, and there were some of those springs that were on the higher end for tension, and people were having issues running 115 grain or maybe some lower powered ammunition, So I think there were maybe 6 people that actually sent their guns in, and only 3 of them had a legitimate issue with them. But from what I understand, Global Ordnance set out, or not Global Ordnance, Grand Power set out a bunch of springs that were a little bit lighter and could run better with 115 grain ammunition, or most of the ammunition that we have here in the States. So if you're having that issue, reach out to Global Ordnance. They'll take care of you. And if you're on the fence about picking up this particular firearm, don't worry about it. It's going to serve you well if, and I mean this, like really, if there is an issue, they will take care of it. I think it's for the price, I don't think you're going to find much better. The only thing that comes close to this is the AKV9. And the one thing that has over this one is I think they have way better magazines, especially the PSA magazines. I think they're better, even better than the Scorpion mags. So, which is what that AKV9 runs. So, great buy, a lot of fun to shoot, looks awesome, small package, fits in a backpack, you can take it anywhere, and straight shooter, man. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people that has shot it love to shoot it, and my wife loves it, and now I'm probably going to have another one in the safe at some point in the near future because she's going to want her own. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review on the Grand Power Stribog SP9A1 Gen 2 with the non-reciprocating handle, and this one again is dual rod. If there's anything that I can do to make these videos better, please leave a comment down below. I'll go review them, and then any changes that I can make as far as video quality or sound quality. I'm just using a cell phone. I don't have camera equipment or anything. Maybe later on down the road, if I get enough backing in the channel and I can do those things, then I will at some point down the road. But as of right now, this is just a hobby. This is something I like to do. I like to share my experiences. This channel is mainly going to be gun-related stuff. I'll have some other stuff thrown in because it's just my daily hobbies. I do like to camp and hike and stuff like that. So, among other things. But yeah, I got some more reviews coming down the way. I got some optic reviews. I still got to follow up on tracking test with the Primary Arms GLX 4 2.5 to 10, which has the Griffin Mill reticle. I have a Primary Arms 1 to 6x24 first focal plane Raptor that I plan on doing a review on. I just ordered yesterday the 1 to 8 first focal plane Raptor, so that's going to be coming on down the pipeline. I'm going to be doing my review on this Primary Arms ADS as well as the Vortex. I have one from Red Dot from Hilux that I'm going to be going over. My Aim Point Pro, I'll be going over, then doing a comparison between all of them, and my thoughts are on what roles they fit and how well they run. I have a few rifles that I'm planning on doing reviews on. One is the Ruger MR556, which I did a little bit of work to, and that's a pretty interesting gun. What I had to deal with when I first got it, and then where it's at now. My LWRC, the M6 IC, that is one that I've been dying to do for years, and finally gonna get to it. trying to think what else. I got a couple other guns and a couple other pieces of gear, some rifle bags that I just picked up. Dual rifle bags that I think are pretty awesome, especially for the price point. And, you know, a couple triggers that I have that I want to go over. So, some of the stuff may be pre-recorded because, like I said in the past, I do travel for work, and some of those stints are extended periods. So some of them may be pre-recorded, and you may get longer periods in between videos. But that's only because I'll be, you know, traveling and for work, and I'll be trying to keep up with the channel as much as possible. But thanks for watching the video. Again, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, and stay tuned for more. Thanks.